Okay, we have some random books I'm not interested in. We have this really nice edition of Sarah J. Maas, A Court of Silver Flames, but I'm not following that series. P.D. James, Her Fearful Cemetery by the author of The Time Traveler's Wife, which I hated, so I will not be getting that. An exact replica of My Figment of Imagination, The Exiled Queen, cult classic, Mastering Wiseman, The Moffats, some random middle grade I'm not interested in. Oh my gosh, guys, there's like the entire Anne of Green Gables series. And that's it. Hi guys. So I'm here today with, that was loud, my cup of tea. How cute is this? It's like a herbal fruity tea. My mom, God bless her soul, I'm not gonna be able to go home for Christmas this year due to some really exciting stuff, but as a result, I will not be able to go home this Christmas, and so I'm sad. And so she sent me a tea advent calendar, and so I've been having a cup of tea with this mug. Well, actually different mugs. I don't know why I said with this mug, but I just got this mug from a friend the other day, and it's just so thoughtful and such a sweet gift. I love mushrooms, and so I was just so excited when I got it, because actually, random side story, I was visiting a friend this summer, and she had that exact mug, and I kept like looking at it online and was gonna buy it, so it was just really sweet. But anyways, I digress. I am here today because honestly, I'm feeling a little dysregulated this week. That's a word that I've learned from some very expensive therapy. And I just basically am feeling very anxious. I'm just kind of feeling out of it. I'm not feeling my best self. I'm kind of just like tired and cranky and stressed. And so I'm trying to do what I can to combat that through exercising my body, moving my body, eating well, and resting. And so this week, I would have liked to have done something a little bit more involved for my video, but I just didn't have it in me. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do a kind of cozy drink tea with me while we pick out books for the winter. And I'm picking out, that's really good. I'm picking out my December, potentially January reads today. And then also I have footage from, this is really random, but I read The Princess Bride in like 2 months ago, and I filmed my like reading adventure with it. And so I'm gonna include that because why not? So you're gonna get a little bit of like cozy picking books, and then I may or may not include that other footage, but I think I will, because I just like, it doesn't really fit anywhere neatly. So if you feel like sticking around for that, then please do. Okay, so if I'm being completely honest, okay, this is what our place looks like. So like pretty books, right? Pretty books. Here's some newer reads I've got. Stoner by John Williams and The Overstory by Richard Powers. I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy, which I already read. It was really good. Some candles here randomly. Let's move that. Some different fiction. Then I have some kind of like spiritual nonfiction with some random like poetry at the end, some like Macbeth, Othello, Cleopatra, my husband's camcorder from high school. I've actually used this to record a few videos, so it's fun. Okay, this is the truth of it. So this is like all stuff we're selling and donating, okay? So this is the state of things right now, and it's been the state of things for a while. We're intent on getting, just, you know, actually doing it. It's like, I feel like we just keep prioritizing other things. But anyways, this is the state of my books. We come over here, and that's some socks that I got as a gift, and I am going to maybe exchange or return because I already have them. Anyways, so first book that I am really wanting to read this winter, and I plan on reading it in a book club with my friend, is Little Women. If you know me, which you don't, I have attempted to read this book, oh my gosh, so many times. I can't even tell you. I've read it to like 50%, like I'm not even exaggerating, 3 or maybe even 4 times. And honestly, it's like there's something so like wholesome and comforting about it, but then it also tends to be just like very dry and boring and sickly sweet. And so then I struggle with it and I give up, and I'm very prone to just like giving up on a book, even if I'm enjoying it. So that's kind of difficult. So I am like really committed to reading this winter. Also, this is like such a cute edition. I'm not usually into modern editions, but I love cross stitch. So this like cross stitch cover with like, it's supposed to look like, you know, the backside of a cross stitch on the inside. It's just so cute. So I'm obsessed with this edition and I'm excited to read it. Okay, I don't know if this is like a wintry book at all, but I keep seeing it and thinking it's wintry because it has the word cold. So it's kind of like, oh guys, like look how toxic this is. So it is a book that I'm interested in reading, but I don't think that it's one. Let me just remove these socks, okay? These are mushroom socks that I was given as a gift. I love mushrooms, but I already own these, and so I don't need another pair. But I just keep seeing this and I keep thinking, oh my gosh, Cold Mountain, this is obviously a wintry book. And then I'm like, I don't know if it really is. So we're gonna move on from that, but that's an option in case I somehow manage to blow past my normal quota of how many books I read a month and I'm just like an absolute superstar. I'll keep that on my mind. Okay, another book that I'm seeing, and I am just like completely making weird assumptions because like Moscow, I just think wintry. So I've kind of been like wanting to read this. I got this at the thrift store the other day. But I don't think that just because it is, wait. So anyways, for me, like this is more maybe a wintry book I'd be interested in reading in like January rather than like something that I'm interested in reading at Christmas time. I don't know. I've heard pretty good things about this. I know he's the author of Rules of Civility, which I haven't read, but I've heard decent things about. Okay, I'm having like an absolute love affair with David Mitchell, like everything aside. I am listening to Slade House on audiobook as I'm walking to work. And I saw it actually at the thrift store the other day. I saw Slade House and then I like read up reviews and was like, I don't know. And now I'm listening to it on audiobook and I'm like so sad. I totally wish I would have gotten it. But then I went the other day and there was like a bunch of David Mitchell. And so I grabbed the Bone Clocks and I grabbed Cloud Atlas, and I've been reading Cloud Atlas and I've been like adoring it. So I'm so excited to get to this. Okay, so this is the book that I was really digging for, that I am so excited to read. I've heard amazing things about it. And it's called The Snow Child by Eowyn Ivey. And it was a Pulitzer Prize finalist. And so this says, Alaska, 1920, a brutal place to homestead and especially tough for recent arrivals Jack and Mabel. Childless, they are drifting apart. He's struggling to maintain a farm. She's crumbling from loneliness and despair. In a moment of levity during this season's first snowfall, they build a child out of snow. The next morning, the snow child is gone, but they glimpse a young girl running in the trees. And so that's kind of where I stopped reading. I didn't really need to read anymore. It just seemed like such a precious, perfectly wintry, lovely read for December. So I am so excited to read this, and I'm hoping that it's like a 5 out of 5. We'll see. Down here you'll see The Terror by Dan Simmons. So I'm gonna struggle to pull that out for a second. I pray to the gods, old and new. I feel like I'm playing Jenga. How do I not have the rest of this topple over? No, I think I might be doing it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, so we have The Terror by Dan Simmons. Other than this AMC thing, I really love this cover. This is something that is like very wintry in the sense like it just takes place in winter, but it is creepy. And so this is kind of like not the usual cozy kind of read that I would go for this time of year, but I I don't know, I enjoy being creeped out, so I don't want to like forego that, you know, as part of my rotation of books. This says the men on board the HMS Terror, part of the 1845 Franklin expedition, the first steam-powered vessels ever to search for a legendary Northwest Passage, are entering a second summer in the Arctic Circle without a thaw, stranded in a nightmarish landscape of encroaching ice and darkness. Endlessly cold, they struggle to survive with poisonous rations, a dwindling coal supply, and ships buckling in the grip of crushing ice. But the real enemy is even more terrifying. There is something out there in the frigid darkness, an unseen predator stalking the ship, a monstrous terror clawing to get in. So I don't know about you, but that sounds really amazing to me. I'm super excited. So there are 3 more books that I am considering. So one is Endurance, which is a book that my dad recommended and really enjoyed. So this is about Shackleton's voyage. It says the order to abandon ship was given at 5 p.m. With these words, Alfred Lansing begins his amazing account of the Imperial Transatlantic Expedition in 1915. An adventure so packed with exciting and terrifying ordeals that it is difficult to believe this can be a true story, factual from the first sentence. 1,000 miles from the South Pole, surrounded by nearly 1 million square miles of pack ice, 28 desperate men begin to haul supplies and personal possessions from their crushed, sinking vessel, the Proud Endurance. Okay, I'm not going to keep reading, but my dad read this. He loved it. And he thought that it was like really great. And so again, I'm kind of like grappling with whether or not to read Terror or this, but they're both kind of dealing with like ships in these like Arctic passages. And so even though this isn't like wintry in like a cozy sense, it's kind of just like the same thing with, oh, say hi. Oh, my little fox. It's kind of the same thing with Endurance, where I'm feeling like it's kind of a creepy tale that takes place obviously in very like wintry conditions, in like Arctic kind of conditions. And so I'm not sure if I'll go for Endurance or Terror, but one of these hopefully. And if I don't read one, I would love to read the other in January, February. The other last one on my bookshelf that I physically own is Eugene Onegin by Alexander Pushkin. I don't know if it's actually wintry, but like here, let me show you the cover. Hold on. I don't know why this just looks so wintry to me. I believe it's an epic poem. It's one of the most famous translated works. I think it's Russian. I'm sorry if I'm wrong on that. But see, like, it's just very wintry landscapes, and so I'm very drawn to it. And so this is something that I'm extremely interested in reading. I have this beautiful Folio Society edition, and so this is something that I think I would love to get to this winter. Hi guys, it's me again. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is that I wanted to read A Christmas Carol this year. A Christmas Carol is a book that I've read a few times, and I had a tradition going for a few years where I read it every Christmas. It's short, it's sweet. The movies, like various movies, but specifically and randomly, like the Jim Carrey animated version from like maybe a decade ago, are some of my favorite Christmas movies. It's, I believe, a very heartwarming tale with great moral lessons that I think are being forgotten in our day and age. And so I absolutely loved reading it. It's the only Dickens I've ever read, and it gave me like a really positive idea of him as a writer. I'm not sure if I want to delve into his longer works. I think I do, but just not feeling it right now. So the reason I'm saying this is because I have A Christmas Carol on my, well, it's not a Kindle, it's a Kobo. It's the Canadian version, and in my opinion, better. But I have it on my Kobo, and I think that I'm gonna try and read it this Christmas because it's short and sweet, and it has such a great lesson, and it's like, it fills me with the coziest feelings. It's so heartwarming, and I think it just it's one of those things where you listen to it or you read it and it makes you grateful to be alive, and it makes you feel blessed, and just like, you know, even though things aren't great and they're not perfect and maybe you're going through a hard time, it's like a reality check, a perspective check. Okay guys, So I've picked out my books for the winter. I have Endurance by Alfred Lansing, which is a transatlantic early 1900s true story about the ship Endurance. Pretty famous scenario here that happened, but I started listening to the audiobook in the summer with my dad and really enjoyed it, but was like, wait. I want to read this in the winter. So hoping to read this in December, but may go into January with this one. We have another similar, I think, Northwest Passage story. This one is made up, but this is like in the middle of the 1800s, lost in the Arctic, and I keep using Arctic as just like a word to mean like some terrible wintry place. So just like forgive me, I'm like very bad with geography, like very bad. But anyways, and there's also like some weird creature or something, so that sounds really good. It has amazing reviews online. All right, then we've got a classic I have been trying to read for a very, very stupidly long amount of time, and it's time I conquer this bad boy. Some of you might be like, why do you keep trying to read this if it isn't working for you? I'm stubborn. I want to, it's my life. But seriously though, I don't know, like, even though I don't finish it, there's something very cozy and comforting, and I would love to just finish it for real. And then I think for the future, this will be kind of like Christmas movies for me, where for the most part, most Christmas movies, I only really want to watch like 30 to 40 minutes and get the vibe, and then I'm out. I don't need to watch all the way to the end. So I think this might be that for me in the future once I've fully read it. The next book we have is The Snow Child by Eowyn Ivey. Excited to read this. Kind of sounds like a magical wintry tale about a childless couple making a snow child, snowman, and something magical happens and there's a child dancing in the woods. So maybe it's just like actually a horror novel and like it'll take a really weird sinister turn. And then lastly we have Alexander Pushkin's Eugene Onegin. I always get confused about which one's the author, which one's not. Translated piece of poetry, I believe, long form poetry, that I am really excited to read. I have this gorgeous folio edition, and I just kind of like, when I think it's a Russian author, I just think of winter, and it just has a lot of like wintry plates in it, like images that kind of are reinforcing that I might be right on this inkling. So we'll see. And then the last one, which I've already told you guys about, is A Christmas Carol. So yay, I'm excited. Ooh. We'll see. Hopefully, I've not done an actual review video before. I keep like showing all these books I get and then I like never review them. So hopefully I'll get to the end of this and then I can give you like a December or winter wrap up. But yeah, thanks for joining. I'm gonna roll the footage now of me reading The Princess Bride. So if you're interested in my thoughts, stay tuned. Hi friends, this is me editing hours and hours and lifetimes later, and I decided to not include the footage of The Princess Bride reading thing and like my review, because honestly this video is like 18 minutes I think at the point when I'm stopping, and so just gonna pop this footage here at the end. If you are interested in seeing it, let me know. If you think it would be better as like part of a vlog, let me know. If you think it would be better as like its own thing, let me know. I am interested in what you guys want to see, so let me know. If I didn't already send the message, let me know. Sorry, anyways, okay, I just have a massive headache. Our radiator's going very loudly and I'm just that's how I feel. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and stay safe out there, and catch you on the next one.